You know the timers? The 230 and the 330 rule. Most of the time, they're only going to be able to gank your lane at around 230 and 330. The worst case scenario, if I was playing Gragas and I was doing the standard 3 camp clear into a gank, then I will be in your lane by 230. Like, the very worst possible case scenario is that he ganks you right now and then you're... Alright, okay, well, worst case scenario happened and now you're fucked. If you need a game to coach, I got you. I went the 312 on Ashe, ADC, and Diamond EUS. Alright, I'm down. Let's go to EUS. It's gonna be more about VOD review. But luckily, because the person we're VOD reviewing is Diamond, like, we can talk about more general macro aspects. That's gonna be fun. I'm on a 6-game loss streak. Let's go for 7. Wait, no, that's not it. If you think that EUS is the best server in the world, then subscribe. I don't know. Are you gonna give dating advice and talk about coaching? Yeah. Another thing I always say is if you guys ever want to VOD review yourself, always like turn off the map for yourself, because it's really easy to like have the entire map open and then see a jungler gank and be like, oh, I knew that was going to happen, and then just never learn. You always want to see just your point of view so that you can make decisions based on the information you have. Today we're going to be VOD reviewing / coaching / giving dating advice to this Ashe that's a Diamond 4. Oh my god, Coldplay and Joy has left the game. Typical. Okay, here's a quick tip, okay? For anyone that plays bot lane, if you actually want to climb, then I recommend you to do this one simple thing. It's called Googling your enemy spell cooldowns. Just go to a wiki, scroll down. Just look at this. Cooldown at level 1 is 12 seconds. That's all you have to know for this matchup. Which means every time she uses E, you have pretty much 10 seconds to abuse the fact that she has no E. That's it. You can do this with pretty much every champion that's like an engaged support. So for example, Nautilus, just look up Nautilus Q cooldown, Thresh Q cooldown. Okay, number 1. Communication. Like, if you're going to be this aggressive, you want your support to also be with you. Like, at least ping, right? The best case scenario is like he's with you and then you can just like poke together and zone them out. Just choose one. Like, start maybe getting like an early level 2 lead, or you want to ping your teammate to be with you. Alright, okay. So you know how I just said you should like be focusing the minions? Yeah, now you don't have to do that, because these guys already gave up on trying to get level 2 prio. So what you want to do is you want to focus from getting level 2 prio. You want to turn that into pressure. So now you want to prevent them from getting any EXP because of how scared they are. Just by the way she's positioned, you can kind of suspect that she started Q. If she started E, she will be like at least in a position to be aggressive, you know, like maybe like E here. But the fact that she's just not even walking up and like her Jinx is also just like not doing anything means that she probably started Q. The ideal situation is you want to always zone the enemy when your minion's about to die. They'll either have to walk up to get the range of the EXP, which means that you can focus them more, or they just have to walk away, which causes them to lose the EXP. So you kind of want to time your pressuring with something that happens that forces them to lose out on like some kind of resource. This caster minion's gonna die. So yeah, it's like going like you want to be really aggressive here. Perfect. That was really good. I don't know if you did that consciously, but like you should be doing that all the time basically, where you want to force it to either walk up and lose HP or lose a minion farm. Okay, so I'll be honest, I actually think you should have started E here. Ashe usually starts W into like Q, like that's just normal, but I actually think that in this situation, it might not have been bad to go E. The worst case scenario that can happen is if Gragas go for like a 2 camp clear or like a 3 camp clear into bot. This is the worst case scenario, which means you want to be ready for this. Because you have such a big advantage in the lane, you actually don't even need your Q. You can just play safe for a bit, but like right now, the biggest priority is finding out where this Gragas is going. So do you know the timers? The 230 and the 330 rule. There's a lot of champions that actually bypass this rule. Like, for example, like Nidalee can actually hold clear at around like 3 minutes, 6 seconds. Like, Zyra can do the same. But for most standard, just like early game farmers, most of the time, they're only going to be able to gank your lane at around 230 and 330. You want to ward a bush at maybe like 215 so that you have time to like walk back the lane before the 230 gank timer. But this is really important. Worst case scenario, if I was playing Gragas and I was doing the standard like 3 camp clear into a gank, then I will be in your lane by 230, and because your lane is pushing this way, that means you're gonna die, which is why I wanted you to start E to get vision of where he is, at least where his pathing is, right? Alright, okay, well, worst case scenario happened, and now you're fucked. When was he actually here? Was it exactly 230? Yep, there you go. Before we even like saw where he was. You can see how this rule applies pretty hard here. Because if you think about it, if I was an enemy Grog, if I was good, right? If I was a good jungler, I could see that the lane's pushing towards their side, which means there's a high chance that the red team is going to be past this line. It's like such an easy gank for a Gragas. Like, I'm not saying that you should always level E, like level 2. Don't always go W to E. But also don't always go W to Q, right, on Ashe. You just want to know this is a possibility depending on the lane state. If the enemy got prio before you and they push faster than you guys did, then you can just do the W to Q because your E actually has no value because like now Gragas can't really gank. I just want you to open up the possibility of this play being possible, like path of you going down. Even without knowing that, you can determine how the enemy is going to like do something by the way they transition between aggressive and passive. So right now, Leona has been literally playing passive the entire game, right? Just him being very far back like all the time and then suddenly walking up just out of nowhere even though he's level 2. It should be an indicator that something's happening nearby, right? Even if he's not here, just like considering that he could be here is already a big step in the right direction for macro. Game knowledge isn't about knowing exactly what's going to happen. It's about knowing the possibility of something happening and using that to determine what you should do next. Okay. Okay, never. So in this situation, I'll be honest, you're dead. You have to try to minimize how many resources you lose. I would much rather lose no summoner spells and die than maybe get out, but still die. I thought it's W auto with E, so I react flash. In this range, you also have to know your limits, all right? Do you really think that at this range, you'll have the reaction time to react to anything he does? Like, there's no world you react to an E from a Gragas in this close range. And even if you did, like if Gragas is good, he can actually E in this direction and still flash on top of you. You're pretty much asking to die. You either have to choose and die, or you ping your Zyra to run away. You try to get as many minions as possible. But also, why'd you stop? Why'd you stop? This is a bad habit, all right? This is a really bad habit. I see this a lot with people that are like not experienced, but just standing still and doing nothing and like accepting your death, like that. No, what are you doing? Even if it's a very small thing, you could do damage. Even doing a small amount of damage can actually help in some situations later on. In this situation, it might not have really done anything, but I want you to know that in other situations, this is actually going to be really crucial. This is going to change the 1 out of 20 games from a loss into a win. So habit, yeah, don't ever tilt as a habit. That should never even be a definition that you have. At least like slow the Leona down so your teammate can't die. You know, like do something, man. Like just because you're dead doesn't mean that everyone else is also dead. Leona can Q the Zyra, which leads to another Gragas E, which leads to her having to flash out. All good. It's all right. You'll be like that sometimes, you know, like people die. Whoa, why is your Zyra pinging you? Okay, we're gonna coach Zyra real quick. If she was good, she would have worded this bush at 215. I'm just gonna say it right now. If she was actually as good as she's pinging, she would have pinged here and you guys would not have gone ganked. I just want to say that. Whenever you see someone that's like spam pinging like this, immediately mute them. You know for a fact they're not gonna give you any more useful information for the rest of the game. Wait, what was that? Why'd you just stop? Okay, well, why? Are you typing? Oh, you're typing, aren't you? What are you typing? What are you doing? Bro, you missed it, dude. You missed a minion, dude. I for sure flamed Zyra. Yeah, I can tell. Like, why'd you miss a minion? Like, don't let somebody else's bad day lead to you having a bad day. Don't do that. Oh, now you're both typing. Bro, come on. Ain't no way. On another note, I actually do like how you leveled 2 points into W here. I want to ask you, was this intentional or did you just autopilot? You want to think about why you did that. As long as you're thinking about that, then it's good. Like in this situation where you don't really need your E because obviously like you see Gragas over here and you're just freezing, then it's fine. But I just want you to keep that in mind. Okay, so this is gonna be hard, right? This is a real life skill. Whenever you're in a work environment, especially in like real life, you want to separate your emotions from your decision making. Like it doesn't matter if you hate your coworker's guts. If it affects your own gameplay or your own work, then it's bad. I know you hate your Zyra because you obviously blame each other, he's spamming you, but the objectively best choice here was to walk up with your Zyra. I don't know what you're doing. Dude, like walk up and focus this guy. Even if Leona engages, he's gonna engage on your support. Like you're fine. You're actually perfectly fine. You want to pressure the same target together because right now Zyra is just doing everything by himself. Like even if you hate his guts, you're not really contributing anything either. At the very least, Zyra still has flash. Like she can still get out even if Leona's here engages with E. Whenever someone loses like a 1v1 or 2v2, they always lose because of these small interactions where they could have gotten a bigger advantage. You guys actually lost this trade. Like even though it was 2v1, you guys lost this trade because instead of doing a 2v1, you pretty much gave in 2 separate 1v1s. If anyone plays Valorant here, you would know what this concept is. If you want to peek with your teammate, you pretty much just gave her a 1v1, and then a few seconds later, you gave her another 1v1. It's like the Avengers, right? It's like they lost to Thanos because Iron Man and Captain America were fighting. Obviously, if they were together, they could have led to something better. Okay, warding like here, this is really bad. Even like just an extra, just putting a ward here actually gets way more info. Putting a ward here would give you maybe like this much. Just this extra like frame or two of you getting more information can actually lead to a lot. You know how to angle your hawk shots, like in general. This is an Ashe thing, but whenever you send out a hawk shot, you don't really want to make it end too early. You should always ask yourself, if I use E right here on Ashe, like what am I trying to get vision of? You don't want to just send it out randomly because like that just wastes a hawk shot. If I was you, I would try to get vision of here, and then I would try to get vision of like somewhere over here just to confirm that what I'm thinking is right. Instead of sending a hawk shot here, I would actually send it maybe to wolves from this angle so that you can get vision of the raptors and also the wolves at the same time. There's no way that more information is bad for you, so just keep that in mind. Nice. Not nice, not nice, not nice. Okay, okay. Whoa, 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 whoa. Why are you pinging your Yone? Whoa, yo, yo, yo. Yo, don't do that. Like, either you're in this situation or you're not. So, there's not really much to fault you on this because obviously you had to get the kill here. Yeah, yeah, don't worry. Don't do this. Don't ping, dude. Don't do that. Bro, Yone just ulted because... Yeah, what the fuck? Bro, oh god, now you took to Yone. You see where all these like small things are happening from? Where if you didn't spam ping your Yone because you were mad that his mid laner ganked first, he would have had flash and ultimate for whatever fight next he went for, but now he's still doing as well. Another life lesson, it's like me going like, hey, this guy's getting mugged every single day. Like, what's going on? But then the guy is like, oh, I'm actually walking in the middle of the park in like in New York City at 3 in the morning every day and wondering why he gets mugged every day. You're putting yourself in a position for something bad to happen, which is why bad things are happening. You spam pinging Yone, it can only lead to him tilting. Like what's he gonna do? Is he gonna be like, oh, maybe I should have played that better? You're right. Just like, no, that's not gonna happen. Don't do that, man. Come on. If your immediate gut reaction is to flame somebody after having a bad moment, like this isn't even league related, right? Like, whoa, what is this for? What are you eating? Bro, there's nothing to kill you, bro. Like, what? Now you're sending out your fucking bird into oblivion. You're sending fucking Icarus to the sun for no reason at all. I was scared that I could get dove. Ow. Ow. What can dive you? You have a ward here. Okay, here, I'll be honest. If Gragas actually decides, because he died, right? He died. The only way he can gank you is if he perfectly walked this way. And then, I'll be honest, dude, if you die from Gragas, he deserves a kill. Like, just accept the L, man. He actually deserves all the kills he gets if he decides to play in this way, where he decides to gank you immediately between the lane. Okay, I'll be honest, I think the game's over. Like, the game's already over from the moment that... Oh my god! Holy shit! Where did Gragas come from? Dude, he deserves to win this game. Gragas actually pat that way. Oh my god, what a giga chat. Holy shit. Bro, take the L. Take the L. He deserves this win. Oh my god. I kind of predicted that the only way he would have ganked you is this way. But I'm actually more surprised he even went for that in the first place. Actually, it's like the game's not even that doomed. Let's just talk about what you can do when you're losing, all right? When you're behind. People ask me, what do I do when I'm behind? But then the answer is always like, why are you behind? The best thing you can do is to never be behind. Like, that's just number one. This is very forehead, like never be behind if you don't want to be behind. But that's actually what it comes down to. People have a bad habit of, they go like, I'm going to lock in. They're going to lock in after making a mistake. But it's like, why did you make that mistake in the first place? Because now you have to lock in double the amount than if you just locked it from the very beginning and didn't make that mistake in the first place. You should be focused at every point of the game and not just at the end when it's already too late. You don't want to figure out what to do when you're 0-4. You want to figure out why you're 0-4. What led to you being 0-4 in the first place for it to be so doomed? Let's say you did everything perfectly and you're still 0-4, right? What do? You want to think about your winning side. Like, who's winning in the game? Your jungler and your top laner actually look like they're doing pretty well. Which means you gotta stop dying. Just stop dying. Don't go 0-5, alright? Like, freeze as much as possible. Just soak up EXP as much as possible. Never walk up, never fight. That's it. That's all you can do. You have to know how to get carried. It's like knowing how to get... Dude, stop. Put your ward a bit forward. Come on. You can't ward here expecting to contest this when you're not in position to contest. If your entire goal was to contest that ward, you would not be here. Okay, also here. Wait, also here. What are you doing? Why are you back here? Like, what? Even if you got the kill, this is a bad play. Like, because the play goes well or how you want it to, doesn't actually mean that it was a good play, alright? This is a really hard like concept to actually fully understand. Just because you managed to kill this Leona doesn't mean that what you did was right. Longer R duration stun and didn't want to get spotted accidentally by Leona Sweeper? No. That's Number one, you're saying the right things for the wrong reason. That's a bad habit that I'm seeing from you specifically. Because right now you're saying that longer R duration, that's right. Longer R duration, that's perfectly fine. This is objectively a true fact that doesn't apply in this situation. There's no way you're telling me that that small amount of distance is better than if you just were in range to do damage from an auto attack in the first place. And also number two, if your reason was so you wouldn't get hit by the scanner, like that makes even less sense, right? There's no way you're telling me that the reason you didn't walk up was to not get spotted by the scanner when your Lilia is closer than you are. If Leona spots Lilia from the scanner, then I guarantee you, it doesn't matter where the f you are, you can be here without not being spotted by the scanner. Like here's your habit, okay? Here's the habit that I want you to work on. Is that I think you're very logical. You're very logical outside the game, but you're very emotional during the game. Like, I'm not trying to flame you or anything. This is just objectively what I'm seeing right now. So like, even though you're telling me things like, oh, like longer R duration, you have all the theory, you have none of the experience, is the way to properly say it. You can only get so far with just theory alone. You have to be able to be objective in an emotional situation. Another thing, right? It's like, even though you're logically correct, you're using the wrong logical facts in situations. You're using logic A when you should be using logic B. Because you're so hung up over the first choice you have, you decide to use logic A in situation B, and like that doesn't work. Like you actually get more tilted because what you thought doesn't happen the way you wanted it to. Like the reason why tilt and like just in general life burnout happens to people, what they expect doesn't happen in reality. This is why these things happen. If you guys are feeling burnt out in life, or like if you guys are tilted very easily, the way you fix it is that you want to be more flexible in your expectations. That's it. You have to know how to be flexible in your decision making. The moment you decide on one possible outcome and then that outcome doesn't happen is when you're going to start panicking. If a situation goes wrong, just accept it, right? It's okay if something goes wrong. Going back into dating advice, you guys know that phrase? Either you grow together or you grow apart. You're either going to grow together as people where you know how to handle situations no matter what they are because of how you react to them, versus you're just gonna break up because you couldn't figure out the way you were thinking affected how a lot of situations ended up. This is just how life works, guys. You have to know how to grow. You have to relearn how to learn. You have to accept adversity because that's how you're gonna grow as a person.